Hello, everybody. I am coming on here because I have been going through a really emotional and difficult period of my life. And I guess I wanted to come on here because I want to create something where I share my experiences and what I've learned from them, to help people feel more empowered and more worthy, and just to create happier lives, because we all deserve that, and we are all worthy, and we deserve to be in our power, and we deserve to be ourselves and to express ourselves freely. But because of that, I couldn't help, I started to tell myself this story, this paradigm that I had to be okay all the time, or I wasn't living up to what I'm trying to create and what I'm wanting to share. I think it's called imposter syndrome. It's sort of where you're like, do I even deserve to be doing this? Because I feel like I'm lying to everybody, because right now I'm not great, and I feel it feels like I can't be not great if I'm if I'm wanting to share what I learn. It feels wrong for me to be struggling when I've learned so much. And so I was like, I can't tell people that I'm not happy at the moment. I can't tell people that I've been crying all the time and going through 1,000 different emotions a day and feeling at times really good, and at other times like so overwhelmed and lost and confused and betrayed and abandoned and just hopeless. But then I would ask myself, well, what was all of this for if I'm feeling this now? What was all that I've been through, all the lessons that I've learned, if they're not doing anything? And they are. I just forget that, because when I take a look at how far I've come, even now, even when I feel like shit, I'm like, well, I feel like shit for a completely different reason to what I used to feel like shit for, because I've worked through that kind of shit. So that's cool. And I am able to work through my stuff more quickly, and I look after myself, and I don't let myself sort of succumb to those unhealthy coping mechanisms and project all of my problems onto other people and all of that. So there's a lot that I have worked through. It's just, there's a lot that I'm working through still, and life is a journey. There is no destination. So of course I'm not ever going to be perfect. So I really should stop telling myself that I have to be. But then I realized I want to create a channel, I want to create a platform, an online presence, a business where it's okay to be yourself, where it's celebrated, where you are your best self when you are simply being yourself. So to do that, I need to start showing up here more authentically. It's not that what I've been showing is inauthentic or untrue, but it's only one part of what has actually been happening recently. I have been feeling just really tired, really exhausted, and feeling like I'm constantly battling this uphill battle that I've already battled, and just confused as to why I am where I am in my life right now. And my faith, it's been really hard to keep faith when nothing is really proving that it is worth being faithful. And like becoming more self-indulgent, and then that becoming this vicious cycle, because I feel really bad when I become self-indulgent. And I don't mean like critical. Like, yes, it's difficult sometimes to not criticize or blame myself when I'm really down there, but literally physically gross. Like, I eat comfort food and then I feel gross, and then I eat more comfort food to feel better, and it's this really not good cycle. So, and then I'm tired. And because I'm tired, I don't want to do anything, and I don't want to eat anything except fucking sweets. And then I get more tired because sweets make me tired. I don't know where I was going with that. But just, yeah, I don't even know where I'm going with this. But I'm gonna post it because this is what it's all about. The thing is, I understand. I have gone through this, and I'm realizing things quite regularly around why I'm going through this. Like, for example, I've experienced 21 years of difficulty. Like, the minute that I was born, life hasn't been easy. So when I worked through all this shit, when I healed from an abusive relationship and an abusive childhood, and I came to terms with myself, and I came into this place of self-love, and I actually fell in love with myself, and I started making decisions for myself, setting boundaries, coming from that place of empowerment, meeting people that were serving me, like serving my highest good. I mean, I thought, surely I've learned the stuff. It's not going to be hard anymore. That's what I thought. And I still think that. I still feel like it's not going to be as hard as it was. It can't be. I've learned the lessons that were making it so hard. But I'm so tired from constantly having to learn things, from constantly having to be strong, that when things haven't happened the way that I thought they would, and I'm still just kind of here unsure of what's going to happen, even though I know in my heart everything's going to be okay, and it's all going to come when it's supposed to. I just struggled to understand why when it's supposed to wasn't now. And I got into this really heavy mindset of, what more am I supposed to be doing? What am I doing that is wrong? How do I deserve more suffering? What is the lesson here? Why are they wanting to teach me so much? Why is the universe putting me through so much? It's so strange because it's not really I mean, God, compared to what it used to be, life is fantastic. Well, kind of. But it's still just not where I thought it would be, and it's not about whether or not I'm actually going through a hard time, because it's how I'm feeling. It's my perspective, and all the shadows coming up to be healed and released around all of this stuff. But it's not easy. It's really, really, really not easy. And like, people that know me personally know that I used to go through phases of being happy and being sad, and so I can't help but feel worried that the people who know me think that I'm just going through the usual cycle and nothing has actually changed, which is so silly, because who cares what they think? Not to say like you guys don't matter to me, but your opinions don't matter about me. Only mine do, really. But yeah, that's like, what am I trying to prove? Who am I trying to prove it to? I have nothing that I have to prove, but I felt like I have, and I felt like I haven't succeeded in that way, and it's been hard, and it's just brought up all these doubts and fears and worries and uncertainties. But more than that, putting everybody else aside, just, yeah, living in a house where our interests and our values don't align. I'm probably going to have to move out of in the next couple of weeks, and I don't have another house to move to. I'm not planning on moving to just any old house. I'm wanting to find somewhere where I actually feel like we're on the same page. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm making this video. But I felt called to do it, so here I am. Yeah. I just wanted to come on here and say life hasn't been easy, and I don't think it's been easy for anyone. I know it hasn't, because the shadow has been coming up collectively for everyone to go through it, and so everyone's kind of going through it right now. But I had this experience today where I realized a few things around surrender and release and acceptance, and also asking for help, for support, showing your vulnerability, which is why I'm on here, because it's important to accept all of who we are and express all of who we are, both the light and the shadow. And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to have weaknesses. Your weaknesses are also your greatest strengths. So, like, it's okay. It's okay to need a break. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to ask for help. And it's okay for them to say no. But it's okay to ask. It's okay to reach out and seek support, and there will 1000% be people who want to support you. Always. All you gotta do is ask. I read this partner book today, and I thought it was really, really good. The book was Untamed by Glennon somebody. I can't remember now, but I'm sure you'll find it if you typed that in. And it talked about sandcastles. And I'd seen a video recently that talked about sandcastles weirdly, and so when I saw the word sandcastles, I thought, oh, that's weird. Maybe it's got a message for me. And it was all about how when we are describing who we are looking outside of ourselves. We are looking at what we do. We are looking at who we are related to, who we love, who we serve. And I realized that a lot of the sadness that I've been feeling recently is because I've been looking outside of myself to find my worth and how far I have come, the lessons that I have learned. I have been looking outside of myself to find the happiness that I am seeking. I have been looking outside of myself to define who I am. I came to Christchurch with certain expectations that never happened, and I have been holding on to those expectations ever since. And that was honestly destroying me. And I've realized that all of this is to teach me to let go of expectations. To have any is to have too many, because who knows how it's going to play out. To have them can actually stop things from happening. I've also realized that, yeah, it's okay to ask for help. And also, your happiness comes from in here. Your power comes from in here. Your abundance comes from in here. And your worth and your value comes from in here, not out here. So yeah. Yep. I think that's everything. Honestly, I didn't know when I filmed this if I was going to cry or not. I didn't. So, baby steps. But I've been crying enough, I think, for the rest of the year, to be honest. Like, so much crying, so much heavy energy, so much release. And that's okay. To be a teacher, to be a guide, to learn things doesn't mean that that's all you're ever going to learn. It doesn't mean that just because you can teach certain things doesn't mean that you know everything. I can still come on here. I mean, even doing this, I'm learning something as I'm doing this. And I'm doing this so that you can also see what I'm learning in order to learn it too, I guess. Just yeah, being vulnerable. It's not easy. It's really fucking hard. Asking for help. Showing all sides of you. Showing the shadow, the light, the good, the bad, the ugly. All sides. It's not easy. I am terrified putting this video out. And I can feel my throat closing up, and I can feel my ears getting all pressury, which are two things that happen when I get freaked out. Honestly, I even think I'm a little bit dissociative right now. Just because this is such an uncomfortable thing for me to do. Which is exactly why I'm doing it, because we grow through discomfort. We grow through putting ourselves outside of our comfort zone, through the difficulties and the struggles. And it's not to say that we need them. Eventually we can release enough, we can move through it, and then we don't need that anymore because we can learn without the struggle. The struggle comes from resistance to the lesson. But yeah, we do grow through it, and so that's why I'm doing this. Also, I wanted to say something. What did I want to say? Yeah, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I was just gonna talk about a difficult experience I had today, which I am actually gonna talk about because it sucked, and I felt really alone and scared, and I'm really sick of feeling alone. So here I am talking to you guys. But yeah, I was on the bus. No, I went grocery shopping and I don't have a car, so I have to bus. And that can be kind of shitty when I'm grocery shopping, but it is what it is. And yeah, I have food. I'm stoked. Everything is great. But the bags are really heavy and my back got really, really sore. And I was wearing a mask. And for some reason, I don't really know why, as I was trying to carry them and walk and wearing the mask at the same time, I just completely lost my ability to breathe. I could not catch my breath. I could not breathe properly. And I got into this sort of panic state and started to have honestly, I started to have a panic attack, and I don't get those very often, and I haven't had one of those in a really fucking long time. And God, it was so disheartening. Like, again, the question, what am I even doing? If nothing I've done has actually done anything, what am I even doing here? And then I missed my bus stop, and then I had to call my friend to come and pick me up because I had all my groceries. I couldn't walk home with them all. Well, I could, but I was feeling very panicky. I was wearing a very small amount of clothing in a very cold day because it wasn't cold when I left. And yeah, I could have walked home, but it would have fucking sucked. So I ended up asking my friend to pick me up. And I felt like shit for asking because I didn't want to feel like I was using them. And that's when I learned the lesson, it's okay to ask. But also, it's okay if they said no. Two-way street. Also, it's okay for me to have a panic attack. After weeks of crying, of trying to, resisting lessons and trying to create things that aren't happening because they're not, it was obviously something that I was resisting. And then not really having a way to get home. It's okay. It's okay for you to go through all of these lessons and to heal a whole bunch of stuff and process a bunch of shit and even develop healthy habits and grow. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to get anxious. It's okay to have panic attacks. It's okay to be scared. I really need to stop telling myself that just because I have gone through shit and healed through shit that I'm not allowed to feel shit. Because then it feels like it's nullifying everything that I've done, which is not. There's a new lesson coming up and a new shadow and nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been for naught, even when it feels like it sometimes. Everything's happening exactly as it's supposed to. There's been a lesson in all of this. Every time I feel like shit and I don't know what I'm doing with my life, give it a couple of days and I'm like, oh, that's why. For example, today, I realized I was resisting this lesson with every fiber of my being. I did not. The lesson was patience, it was surrender, it was let go of attachments. In other words, here I am waiting for my big break of happiness, a house, a relationship, a soul tribe, something. And my phone's about to die. So my phone died. So I'm honestly just coming on here to finish the call, but I just wanted to add one more thing. Did I just say finish the call? To finish the video, but I just wanted to add one more thing, and that is that it's easy. Well, it's not easy, but it's a lot easier to share your story and to talk about things that are hard once they've already passed, once you've already processed it, and once you have gained hindsight and understanding as to why it may have happened and the lesson behind it. I'm good at that. I do that all the time. I share things all the time, but it's always after I realize what it's actually telling me. After I've learned the lesson, it's like, well, there's no point sharing it until I've learned the lesson. So I go through it on my own, and then when I learn the lesson, I share it with all of you. But to be truly vulnerable, to be truly open and accepting of myself in all phases, is to share my experiences while I'm going through them, because that's when it's hard. That's when it's actually vulnerable, because I'm not here as like somebody who has gained wisdom and understanding on it. I've gained a little bit, but yeah, there's still so much uncertainty, there's still so much fear, there's still so much sadness, just like here. I'm not even entirely sure why. If I'm being honest, it feels like a very confusing and depressive episode, because I'm no stranger to those. I had depression for 10 years. I'm no stranger. But this is a little bit different, because at times everything is wonderful. And then at other times I feel so scared and alone and unsure. And I've decided to just focus on the present, because in the present there is no fear, there is no worry. Fear comes from the future, and anxiety comes from the future and the past, but not the present. Because right now I am okay, I am warm, I am fed. Right this very minute I have everything that I need. It's not until I look into the future and I'm like, do I have everything I need for that it gets worrying. So yeah, I'm just focusing on the present, the very, very, very now. I really am not comfortable with this video, which is exactly why I'm doing it. But yeah, it's easy to share the truth when you're already past it. It's harder to share it when you're in it. And remember that a lot of it is perspective. A lot of it is the stories you're telling yourself, or the stories I am telling myself, the thoughts that I'm allowing, or patterns repeating. And so all I'm really trying to do at this time is remain focused on the present, remain positive, be patient and gentle with myself, and surrender to the process. Just let it do its thing. Actively work on doing things that make me feel good. eating well, exercising, going on little adventures with myself, dancing, singing, drawing, playing, journaling, meditating, yoga, things that make me feel good, because there are many things that I can't change in my life. So I'm going to focus on the things that I can and do them for the sake of self-love and feeling happy. Don't focus on the story. And if the feeling goes away, and it's a story that's already passed, energy goes where we focus it. You know, the energy goes where we focus our mind. So if we're focusing on the negative, it's just going to keep happening, and it's just going to keep going there. Well, it's finding a balance. You don't want to reject any part of you or any part of your life, but it's just acknowledging where you are and then focusing on the positive, focusing on the gratitude. That's why gratitude is so important, because it's not resisting what you don't have, rejecting any part of you or resisting anything. It's simply just acknowledging what you do have and being grateful for that. There's a difference between forcing yourself to be positive by rejecting the negative side and coming from a place of love and acceptance and gratitude. I realized that I was coming from a very strong place of lack. And that's why I've been so sad, because all I could think about was what hadn't happened yet, what I didn't have. I have so much. And when I'm able to think about that and acknowledge that, and I just stay focused on that, then I feel okay. And more is coming because of that. Because you manifest where you put your energy into, which is why it's so important to stay positive. Wow. Thank you so much for listening. I hope there's some takeaway from this video. And yeah, I guess if there is nothing else, then just knowing it's okay to be vulnerable, knowing it's okay to seek support, to be open about and express your feelings. We're human, we're not a machine, and that's okay. Anyway, I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow, whatever it is you feel called to do. And I will see you all next time.